I took in a big bit of breath there.
On you go.
Hello and welcome to the Jungle Gyms podcast. I'm your host Gavin, and tonight we're joined by Paddy and McGinty. Today it's Thursday, the 26th of
Gyms
August, and we have
podcast.
just finished
I'm
and
your
watched.
host
Sorry,
Gavin,
we've
and
just
tonight
finished
we're joined
watching
by
the AZ
Paddy and
Alkmaar
McGinty.
and Celtic game, the
Today,
second leg of the last qualifier of the Europa. And my God, I feel out of breath. That was one hell of a game. I don't know how we made it through. Paddy, how do we reflect on that?
I think we need to compose ourselves for starters. I'm still up to high doors. um, we we were lucky to get through. AZ were definitely by far the best team on the night. They attacked us the way we were hoping we were going to attack them. Obviously, we scored a goal early on, but my God, they came into it. But I'll hear from McGinty first before we go into the details.
Where do you start? That's a good thing, Paddy. I think it's everything that we've been warned by some of our Australian brothers and cousins that Ange Postecoglou's style is going to be a lot of attacking and a lot of good goals when we can get them, but a hell of a lot of hairy moments in the back. And that's what we got today. Some scary moments. And I'm glad we got through. Overall, in the time we got through, so I'm glad with that. Happy to get into the group stage, but that was not pretty. That was not nice.
It was hairy. It was hairy. Right, guys, let's get into it, okay? And let's just kind of recap for the first leg before we even talk about the lineup. The first leg, obviously, a 2-0 win for Celtic at Parkhead, and it was a great night. The fans got behind the team. We played like how we want to be playing under Postecoglou. We really brought the thunder that night. Great moves, great attacking play. A couple of maybe hairy defensive frailties that we saw, and they never had their shooting boots on that night in the first leg. But tonight, they turned the tables on us. They played like the way that we want to play. They went toe to toe, and it was a bit like anything you can do, I can do better. That's how I kind of took from it. But going at the lineup itself, again with the back five, that's the only people that we have right now. So Joe Hart in goals, left back of Taylor, centre backs Welsh and Starfelt, and then Ralston at right back. And moving on in the midfield, we had Rogic, McGregor, and Turnbull. And up front, Christie, Kyogo, and Abada. So just kind of focusing on the front three. Kyogo was up front in the middle, and we had Christie and Abada as the supporting cast. So the big thing was no Eddie. Whenever I saw that, I was thinking, yeah, that's smart, because we're going to have to run like fuck tonight. We're going to have to press them. Speed is going to be the key for us. If we put them under pressure, then that's how we win the ball back. We win the ball back high up front, and then we can go on the offensive. So I was thinking, yeah, Eddie's maybe not the most conducive player to that style of play, to that pressing style. So I was thinking that was a smart move. McGinty, did you have any qualms with the lineup whenever you saw it?
No qualms at all. I thought the lineup was strong. We've not really changed it too much at the back and into the middle. It's usually the front three that kind of gets rotated a little bit. But it was strong. It was what we came to expect in the last kind of 3 or 4 weeks. And I expected us to start the game strong. I expected us to high press, get the ball, be dogged with it, and push forward at every opportunity and get some goals. We did at the start of it. Obviously, we got that first goal. After that, though, the back line was under pressure more than anything else, and it didn't matter who you put up front. Edward, Kyogo, it really didn't matter.
Well, Paddy, going on to yourself again with the lineup on paper, it looked good. Another observation that I would make is we're playing away from home. There's no holding midfielder, as in there's no kind of combative player. Sorrow would be your man if you wanted to play that way. So again, no Eddie, no Sorrow in the starting lineup. Were you happy with that on paper?
Aye. Obviously, the team has been performing and they're playing very, very fluently. So you're, as you say, we are playing this game away from home tonight, and we're playing AZ who need a win. So our game plan really was to come out the traps straight away and try and score 1 or 2 goals, which we managed to do. We done that in the 3rd minute. You had a kind of Hail Mary ball down the line for Ralston. Abada manages to get in front of the left back down the wing, cuts inside a wee bit and then puts in a delicious ball into the centre of the box, and Kyogo, a left-footed finish, brilliant goal. fantastic, excellent start. You don't really see that much for Celtic away from home. But then what you did manage to see was the Celtic that we all know in Europe. You had a horrendous piece where the ball comes in, a long ball for the AZ player, finds Welsh about 15, 20 yards from his goal. He tries to bring it down for some reason. The ball hits his shoulder, ricochets off his shoulder, and it dribbles forward to Hart. And you're expecting Hart to come out of his box and either clear it or pass it on to somebody, but it looked as if he had super glue on his feet. And he dilly-dallied. By the time that he got to the ball, he puts in a horrendous attempt to kick it, and the AZ attacker gets it, goes around him,
Aye.
scores a goal.
Aye.
Shocking, absolutely shocking.
Well, the beginning that you said, like Celtic scoring after 3 minutes, you don't often see that. And if Carlsberg were to do away performances in Europe after 3 minutes, I was thinking, yes, we're onto something here. As you said, brilliant attacking move up the right flank for Ralston to Abada. It caught their defence cold. Abada flashes in across goal, and Kyogo's there with a brilliant left-footed finish. Keeper had no chance. That's exactly how you want to see the football. I thought, oh my God, if this is just the start of the game, I'm going to really enjoy this one. But then that was that right after that, we just kind of went into a lull, and they kind of grew in confidence. And as you said, that calamitous error for Hart. Whenever I first saw the goal, so when was it? It was in
It's
5 minutes,
6 minutes, yeah.
6 minutes. Aye, so we just scored in the third minute. And in Europe, you want to see a bit of streetwise, a bit of know-how. Don't concede right after you've scored. But that's exactly what we do. And maybe this is one of the learning curves that we're going to have to go through under Postecoglou. But the incident for the first goal, whenever I first saw it, I was thinking it was Welsh's mistake. It wasn't an assertive takedown for the long ball from the goalkeeper's punt out. But when I watched it again in replay, I was watching Hart, and as you said, it was like he was like running in treacle. He just wasn't moving. He left it too late to commit, and when he did, he didn't get there quick enough. And their attacking player ran on. And fair play to the boy, he anticipated a mistake. And I think that was a kind of a common theme throughout the night, that they were trying to put us under pressure. McGinty, what a way to start things off. One goal that we score, but then they turn the tables on us, and their confidence grew after that. And it wasn't even like a goal that was of their own doing. It was our own mistake that granted them that inroads, and their confidence grew, and we just get smaller and smaller.
Yeah, as Paddy says, the opening goal from ourselves was delicious, is the word they use, and it really was. It's becoming a trademark of how we attack the football going forward. If it's not on the left with Christie, it's on the right with Abada. It's coming down really determined and really with a point, and thrashing that ball forward and across the face of the goal. And Kyogo's just always there. He's just always running through the middle. He gets a foot on the end of the ball, whatever way he can. And I think that must be at least 3-4 that we've scored in that fashion. It's brilliant. But as you say, we conceding straight away. Our confidence went to fuck. We lost all hope. We didn't know what to do after that. We totally lost our momentum. And by the time you got the second goal, you knew what was happening in that game. I'm surprised we didn't actually lose it by a bigger margin and actually go to extra time. That was the relief. We made a point there, guys, about Joe Hart and that confidence. Oh, sorry, the lack of confidence and his lack of movement for that first goal. I don't think he's expecting Welsh to shoulder that down and kind of miss time himself. I think he's thinking Welsh has that and is controlling it. And he's, as Paddy says, he's got caught flat-footed. He's not been off his line quick enough. And I think you've seen later on that happens a few different times where the backline doesn't show real confidence, but you start seeing Joe Hart later on in the game. He's coming out and making punches on the 18-yard line. I think he starts to take a bit more control himself. And I think he'll learn from that game with this backline that he needs to be in control, because Starfelt and Welsh, for two very different reasons, are not in control of that backline yet.
Aye, we'll balance it out with Hart, because obviously he had a rocky start, but he did redeem himself later on. For that particular goal that we conceded, the one thing that I would have expected more from Hart would be communication.
Yeah.
He's big on that. We need to see more of that. And I don't know if that was lacking. However, moving on to the second goal for AZ, or AZ, pardon me. Back on the 25th minute, still in the first half, their Japanese right back, who was quite impressive, I felt, on the first leg at Parkhead. So he managed to advance up until like, the final third of our half, and he put in a great curling cross, which cleared both of their attackers, and it fell to Starfelt. Now, Starfelt was on his own. He had no one around him. He could have actually just let it go out, and it would have trickled out probably for a shy. But and again, communication. Where was the communication? Did no one give him a shout? He tried to go for it with his left foot. He swung haplessly with his left foot. And at first I thought, did he slice it with his left foot? But it actually looks like on closer inspection that it hits off his right foot and it goes in. He was in the right position. His technique, his execution was askew. It was terrible. It was calamitous. And by the way, guys, for the viewers who are watching here, we did go through in the end, okay? So let's remind everyone that, okay? We don't want to be too downhearted. It's just whenever you were watching it live, at that point you were thinking, oh my God, what a night. This is going to be a long, long game that we're going to have to endure. Thankfully, we wrapped it up in the 90 minutes. But in the first half, it was scary going. It was really tough watching. Paddy, I know that you were having like close to like a heart attack by that point. What was your thoughts on Starfield for that one?
Mate, that's honestly, that's the worst attempt at a defensive clearance I've ever seen in my life. As you say, the ball comes in for the right for the wee Japanese fullback. Great ball, but again, there was nobody put under any pressure for defence. Ball comes in, Starfelt's watching it, and he swings this left foot, right? As he swings his left foot, the ball actually goes under his left foot. And at this point, he's turned away for the goal, and it hits the side of his right foot and goes into the goal. He's actually facing away for the goal, and he still managed to score an own. I couldn't believe it. I mean, you're talking about communication. I don't think this guy's brain communicates to his feet. Honestly, mate, it was shocking. I mean, you're signing this guy, and you think you're signing a super Swede, and then you end up with a terrifying turnip. It's honestly, I know the guy's fresh in the door, but he's had what 7 or 8 games under his belt now, and he just looks like a total calamity. He looks like a Swedish Efe Ambrose or somebody like that ilk. I mean, the guy's he's frightening and not in a good way.
He's bringing more focus to himself.
The only thing he's going to do is put Celtic fans into A&E with chest compressions.
Aye. One of our close friends had to send us a screenshot of his heart rate, and it wasn't too good.
Aye,
we're worried for him.
Our mate Daza, who's hopefully going to join us on the podcast through the week, he sent us a screenshot of his Apple Watches, and it was at 122 BPM.
I don't think my heart goes that high when I'm taking a run for the bus, which doesn't happen too often, mind you, but still. It was. Yeah, the whole thing was just scary moments. I don't understand why Starfelt can't use his left foot. He's so one-footed, it's unbelievable. It doesn't make any sense. You're a centre-back. The first thing you need to learn how to do is just clear the bloody ball with either foot. Just get it away. And that's what he had to do in that goal. It's a cross that comes over. I don't think communication... excuse me, guys. I don't think communication needs to play a part. The ball is a decent ball into a good dangerous area, but the attackers are not there. It falls to Starfelt, who's got all the space in the world. All he needs to do is just hook it away. There's no pressure on him. He can't do it. It's baffling how one-footed he is. Absolutely baffling. We do have a little message.
Oh, do it.
Yeah, we got a wee message from Joseph Agnew. He's commented a couple of times on the videos. He says, hail boys. Hart looks very nervous in the goal area. AZ make the ball do the work. Ralston got battered badly tonight. Anybody else would have left the park. Well done to him. Which I think I do agree. He went through the walls tonight, so he did. Especially when you saw Taylor going off early as well.
Thanks for that, Joe.
Aye, thanks for that, mate. Cheers, appreciate it. You're right about Ralston. He took a really bad challenge at one particular moment. A guy had like overrun the ball, I think, and Ralston was a clear favourite to win it, which he did win it. But the guy just still went through Ralston. He took him out completely, and he was down for a few minutes. And of course, his counterpart on the left back, Taylor, he get taken off in like the 24th minute. He did try and, by the way, let's shout out, he did show a bit of heart. I think by the first incident really took him. It really hurt his shoulder. He went down again later on, and then by the third time when he went down, he had to call it quits. By that point, he showed a lot of heart and grit and determination to try and carry on. Fortunately, we had Montgomery who came on to. Montgomery did not let himself down on the left back slot. Obviously, you've got people that I'm looking at the bench, and you've got Bolingoli. Bolingoli, he's still featuring on the bench every game, but he's not getting a sniff. And I think we're probably all glad of that. Maybe he has burnt his bridges. Some people will say give him a clean slate, but Montgomery at the moment, he's been given the chance to come in, and when he has done it, he's taken the bull by the horns. I'm happy with that. McGinty, I know that obviously you're one of the big kind of advocates for bringing through a bit of youth. Surely you'll be happy at Montgomery's performances.
Oh, 100%. I was never convinced at the start of the season that he would have been like the left back choice per se with Taylor. We all always needed and still need to this day another left back of real quality. But Montgomery coming into that game there, heated game, we're already behind, everything was going against us at the time. He put in a shift, he put in a lot of good challenges, good headers to clear the ball. He tracked his man back a few times. Later on in the second half, there's a couple of moments that even the commentators picked up on that he just stood his ground with one of the attackers, stuck to his man, and managed to usher the ball basically out. He done everything you expected from a fullback who would have been in the game a good 5, 6, 7 years. So well done to Montgomery. I would like to see a bit more of him. I know he's getting played more of a winger at times just now as well, so there's a little bit of scope for development on either side, but good on him. Yeah, I'm very encouraged by it.
And just finishing off with the first half, there was another particular incident. I think this was on like the 42nd. Hart pulled off a fantastic save at his far post. He had to get down very, very quick. And again, it was Celtic got exposed once more by a through ball. And that brings us on to half time. Just a wee update that I'm seeing here on the flashes. And that's Ange Postecoglou's having a wee chat with BBC Scotland. And he said, hugely important that we got through a different type of performance tonight, but it was a reward for getting the job done over the two legs. We made two pretty terrible errors from Joe Hart and Carol Starfelt. By the way, he never actually mentioned those names. That's just in brackets. But people make mistakes. What was more important for me was how we reacted. We lost our way a bit after the goals, but second half we dug in and we did what we had to do. And Joe made a couple of outstanding saves, and Carroll defended strongly in the second half. I think we'll probably agree with that. They did kind of redeem themselves to an extent. Hart more so than Carroll. And Hart pulled off an even better save than I think in the second half. Paddy, what was your thoughts at half time? At that point for me, I'm sorry for interrupting, I was thinking I'm glad it's half time. I want Postecoglou to go through them. In fact, maybe not go through them, but settle them down, give them a few words of advice, and get a renewed game plan for the second half. What were you hoping? What were you thinking at that point?
First of all, I had to go and change my t-shirt. I was sweating that much. No, we spoke about that at the time, and we were hoping that Ange would be able to kind of instill some confidence back in the team, kind of get them back on track. We were hoping that they would maybe come out the traps again, the way that they did at the start of the first half, and try and put the AZ defence under a bit of pressure. That didn't really happen. And as well, we were hoping that they would kind of at some point tighten up a wee bit in the midfield, maybe like bring a Sorrow on or somebody. Once like your Tom Rogic started to tire off as he usually does. But no, as soon as the second half started, it was kind of much the same as the way the first half ended. AZ were just basically they were in our face. I mean, the stats tonight just showed how attacking they were and how in our faces they were. They never let off for a minute. They were very, very good, and they put us under a lot of pressure, and they scared our team a wee bit.
They did, aye.
And it showed in our fluency. We couldn't really get going at stages. But with a wee bit of luck, bit of opportunity, and we dug in and got there in the end. But we'll get on to that, obviously.
Aye, well, stats-wise, as you kind of mentioned it, so for possession, closer than what I expected. 53% AZ Alkmaar compared to our 47. That maybe flatters to deceive a little bit because the possession that they had, they looked more effective than what we were with the ball. By half time, their style of play looked a wee bit more dynamic than what I'd seen in the first leg at Parkhead. One kind of characteristic that they were doing was a lot of long balls in behind, even to challenge our two centre backs, but more so to expose our two attacking fullbacks. I didn't really see too many occasions when they became inverted, but there was a lot of long balls that they were getting in behind us. And it was just something that we had to adapt with. But again, shout out to people like Montgomery and Ralston. They really defended with their lives. We all had to. Everybody had to pitch in. We couldn't really be carrying too many passengers in that second half.
Welsh as well. I thought Welsh was pretty strong. Obviously, apart for the error for the first goal, I thought he was pretty dominant at times. And again, he just looks like the senior defender out of the two of them. And I thought he grew into the game a wee bit. But no, you're spot on. I mean, Montgomery for what 18, 19-year-old just
Mhm.
came in and performed very admirably. I think Ralston he's playing with confidence. And he played with a bit of strength tonight as well. As you say, he took a couple of reverse challenges, and there was one in the second half to his face. The guy almost can give him a roundhouse kick to the face in the box. See what I mean? But no, a couple of minutes in the deck, he was back up again and was just rampaging again.
Mhm. Again, in the 52nd minute, Hart pulled off another diving save. Again, he got down quick, and he tipped away a powerful effort. In fact, he held on to this one. And that was again another long ball. But on the 59th minute, Eddie came on for Rogic. Probably no surprises. The game might have been a little bit too fast for Rogic to really to show his own presence in that game, to show off the qualities he had. What did you think of Eddie whenever he came on? I was hoping he'd be able to hold the ball up. Did you think that he added much to Celtic's performance?
No, to be blunt, no. As I said earlier on, I don't think there's much we could have done to have helped. There's not much we did during that game that helped our attacking front three. So changing it for Edward to come on and putting Kyle go out on the left, I don't think it did much for us. We couldn't get the ball up to them in a supportive manner to
Yeah.
allow the ball to be held up. It was the backline was put under the cosh all game for me, and we really started seeing what we fear with this team, which I hope we start learning eventually, and I hope we get some defensive reinforcements in. But on Edward himself, I actually thought he did not bad. In comparison to the last few games, he's looked quite unenthused to play. But today he actually chased the ball down a few times. He chased down the keeper a couple of times as well. So he looked interested, which is something you shouldn't have to say about a player. But he did look interested. But no matter what we did, we weren't getting control of the ball in defence and midfield to be able to actually support and give the ball forward to these attackers. So I don't think it made any difference really. The biggest difference I kind of saw is when Sorrow came on and we started to change that shape a little bit. I think that gave us a little bit more solid defensive kind of mind in the last 10 minutes. And I think that helped us see the game out.
It's definitely an exercise in seeing the game out. I was really surprised. Overall, over the course of the game, whenever we by the 25th minute, 26th minute, that was them 2-1 up. They just needed one more goal to level it. And I was thinking, is this going to be another Midtjylland where they score a goal and then it goes into extra time? And at that point, we're too knackered. I think our fitness levels weren't too bad. Like in comparison to Midtjylland, yeah, they've definitely improved. Paddy, why were they superior tonight?
Probably because they obviously they were behind for the first game and they knew that they had to come out and score to beat us. Um, but you saw a few snippets for the first game and they were kind of knocking the ball about a bit good. But again, tonight it was a different mentality for AZ. They were very aggressive. They were in their face. I mean, they were they were fouling, but obviously that was through their gameplay. It wasn't
Aye,
anything.
the ref allowed like a lot of challenges to go unchecked. Were you surprised at that? Do you think it was kind of spot on with that? Not your typical European referee performance.
No, I think the referee mentality's changed a wee bit for the Euros because you've seen a wee bit like the referees were stopping. They weren't given as many soft fouls for people fucking flying about, diving and this and that. So I think that's kind of continued on through some of the
Hmm.
football that I've seen. But no, as I said, it was a totally different animal for AZ tonight, and they did well. And if it wasn't for the fact that we were high scoring through the two games, you know what I mean, they probably should have went through. But as the old saying goes, goals win you games. Over the two games, we scored the most goals, so we're through.
Exactly, and let's kind of reinforce that, re-emphasize that. We have went through. Um, Again, the first leg, Celtic were the better team. They had their chances, but they never had their shooting boots on in the first leg. On this game, I don't know if we got a bit overawed or they were just more fluid. Certainly, let's one thing to point out: they never had a game, a domestic game in the Eredivisie. I think that was something by the Dutch FA who allow them to kind of postpone their domestic fixture and play that later on in the season. So that's not something that we're used to in Scotland or even in the UK. But I think that's what happened for them. So they never played any games until they last played us last week. Um, Over the course of the two legs, though, do you think we were the deserving team just by an inch to go through?
I think you could look at it from either perspective, but as I say, I'm going to take the perspective of positivity tonight, say that we scored the most goals, we went through. But what I will say is, what I'll ask you is, do you think that we went into this match tonight a bit overconfident that we could just go over there and outscore, and that would be it? Anything else,
I think
we would have coped with it.
I think it's a good question. There's a few things that I would say about that. Is I think we've been quite generous in terms of the fixture list, playing at Parkhead with help me out, Dundee. We had St Mirren, and we had Hearts again at home, and then we had, of course, this mob, and it was all good, entertaining, attacking performances. We scored a lot of goals, and that might have like got the confidence up, certainly for the fans, and certainly for the players. They needed that. If they never had that, then we might have went in with less confidence. So that was a good boost. Um, and a lot of people were saying, yeah, we might concede, but we'll just score more. There was maybe a wee bit overconfidence, over reliance that Kyogo would have been the guy to bail us out of trouble. We can't always put everything on his shoulders. We need everybody to help out. And whenever the defence is lacking that much as it is, I know that they're trying, they are really trying, but we need to get more reinforces, more reinforcement, more depth. Until we get that, then we'll be more of a balanced team. So I think overall we did well tonight to get through by the skin of our teeth. And I'm not going to say that we don't deserve to go through over the balance of the two legs. I'm happy with it. We'll take that. We needed a bit of luck tonight, and we've got through. McGinty, what do you think in that one?
I think I would agree. On the balance of two games, the whole tie, we did enough. As Paddy says, we score more goals. You win football games and all the rest of it, so we do deserve to go through. There's no shame in saying that. This leg, sorry, was not pretty. It was not a good game of football for us. It showed us up, and maybe AZ get a benefit of not playing a game at the weekend where they can see what we do wrong or where our weaknesses are. So they've had an extra couple of days there over the weekend where they're not preparing for a match. They can actually just prepare for us. They can train a bit harder. So it looks like they've done something in the sense of researching and understanding where we are weakest, and they totally exploited it. And for me, well done to them to some degree. Annoying for us. Over the course of the two legs, we deserve to go through, but we need to take something from this game and learn that that's a big challenge. That was a big test tonight, and we failed on the night.
We failed on the night, aye. Again, don't be too depressing, mate. We
sorry,
went through
sorry.
overall. lessons to be learned, but good lessons whenever we do go through, but we can still look back. Like for example, a boxer who wins on points over 12 rounds but gets knocked down in the first round. That's a good lesson to learn, and maybe
Yeah.
that's something that we can kind of take on board. We went through. We're going into the draw, so the draw is going to take place tomorrow, Friday, the 27th of August. We'll find out who our opponents will be going into the group stage. Paddy, you hoping for any glamour ties? You just hoping for something easy?
Well, first of all, it's obviously it's a big thing for us getting back into Europe. This season, it's going to be good for the club. It's going to be good for the players. It's going to be good for the surrounding areas. Everything that comes with it. I'm hoping for. I don't want to say the easy, but secretly I do, mate. I want a good group. I want us to I want us to go and show ourselves. I don't want to get showed up. But it's one of the ones, mate. If you play a better team, then you're going to take better experience. So we'll just wait and see what happens tomorrow. But hopefully, we get some semblance of luck.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully so. I'd imagine if we went into the Conference League, which we've obviously not done, that we would have been the glamour tie. Maybe I'm just flattering ourselves there.
Is that
And of
is that lovely group with a lovely name that you love?
aye, the sexy Conference League again. From a marketing perspective, it's the worst name ever. Worst name ever. Conference League. Like what did they call it in Spain? The Conferencia League. Like for fuck's sake, you know what I mean? It's just such a bad name.
It's bad, but I wouldn't overthink it.
Is that your
Nah.
Steve McLaren moment there, like Control?
I think that was my Joey
Conversación.
Barton one. That might have been more French than Spanish, aye. But of course, we'll find out our fate tomorrow. Looking forward to it. It's always kind of to a little bit of fun, the anticipation of seeing that. But casualty list tonight. So we've got Greg Taylor, who's obviously his shoulder looks damaged. I don't know if he'll be fit for the Sunday game against Rangers. And Kyogo took a wee bit of a knock, which Postecoglou alluded to as well in his post-match comments. So he just said it's all about recovery right now. We'll regroup and see how they're doing. So that builds us on to Sunday then. Sunday the 29th against Rangers at Mordor. And that's at high noon. So looking forward to that one. Obviously, they've not been without their own trials and tribulations with COVID and having to fly off to Armenia to play Alishkert. I was hoping that game would have went into extra time just to tire them out a wee bit more. But we'll see how it goes. Well, it's not going to be a proper pre-match review, but we'll be back in Monday night anyway to do a proper post-match review of the Celtic and Rangers game. But guys, what's your thoughts, predictions anyway for the Celtic and Rangers game? Paddy, are you confident? What do you think the result will be?
After tonight, I'm a wee bit less confident. It's a good question. I think we need to take some lessons for tonight, especially the defenders and the defensive side of it. Hopefully, they'll pull their socks up and screw their nut. Hopefully, Starfelt will find a left foot for somewhere. If he doesn't, I mean, it looks as if we're going to get the boys' scales. Sorry, just to go off on a tangent. Looks as if we're getting the boys' scales in. Who's a left back. I know Greg Taylor might not make it, so there could possibly be a debut for Juranovic, maybe at the left-hand side. I don't know. But
No,
no,
you could go with Montgomery.
I don't think so. No, I think he would probably take a chance and put Juranovic on the left. Possibly.
Is Juranovic able to play on the left? I don't know much about him, but has he been known to do that?
Just thinking for the experience side, obviously going to Ibrox. We're not going to have any fans there, apart from the rest of that lot. You're going to have
You're
a
just
guy
hoping that he's got a better left foot than what bloody Starfelt does anyway. That couldn't be too hard.
Taylor Milner's probably got a better left foot than him. I definitely want to see us put them under pressure up the top. Their defence can definitely be got at. We need to control the midfield. We need to stop Davis getting his foot in the ball. We need our fullbacks to be robust, stop any of their wingers getting a threat, and obviously the centre backs are going to need to be screwed on as possible. So I'm quietly confident. Do you know what? I'm going to say 2-0, Gav.
Mate, I think you've just convinced yourself. You talked
You
yourself
did. You
into
talked
that.
yourself. That was nobody else. That was all you.
Hey, it's not like me to sit and talk to myself.
You started off with a frown and then you gave a reluctant smile. Okay, so 2-0 to Celtic. Good, Paddy. McGinty, what do you think?
I think after tonight, Rangers will take more confidence than we have after today's performances from both clubs.
Psychologically, aye, because they
Psychologically,
were
sort
under
of
the
thing.
cosh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they will start realizing that we're not as dominant as we have shown in the league, in the domestic scene. That we are there to be got at. I think they will try to exploit us. I've always thought they'll try to exploit our weaknesses. The fact that our fullbacks cut in quite a lot, the fact that the two centre backs are not at the best that we could have. I think they will try and do exactly what Alkmaar tried to do tonight. I don't think they'll be successful though. I think once we get our midfield on the ball and going forward with that attack, the likes of Christie, Kyogo, Abada, even Edward, if or when he comes on, I think they will do damage to Rangers, and I think we'll score a few goals. We'll certainly concede a couple, I think, as well, though. But I think it'll be a high score and a good 4-2 or something.
See when you're talking about them taking confidence for your game tonight, I mean, surely God, we can take some confidence for their game.
Oh,
Like
100%.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
As long as you don't listen to McGinty, you'll definitely take some confidence for tonight. Look, that's what I was saying. This week, these two games between Alkmaar and Rangers this week is going to set the tone for the season. Two massive games. Obviously, if we went out tonight, that'd be Conference League, but we're through to the Europa League. Tomorrow and Sunday, we've got Rangers. It's the first occasion to take a scalp, and we need to do that. We struggled last season to lay a finger on them. This is now our chance. We need to go in there buzzing, buzzing mentally and buzzing physically, get in amongst them, suffocate them, get into that choke hold. Don't let them actually get any confidence and spread the passes about. So, McGinty, you're going for 4-2. Paddy, you're went for 2-0. God. I'm going to go for 3-1. 3-1 to Celtic.
I'll take any of these three results. Either which one, as long as we get the win, which I think we will. I honestly think we will win.
I've changed my mind. Yeah. Going to go
Yeah.
6-4. 6-4 Celtic.
How do you go from 2-0 to 6-4?
I've just realised they're probably going to score a couple of goals against us, but we're going to outscore.
Fair play.
Think of the strain. I think of the strain that would put on the end.
I'm obviously joking. I think they'll score a couple. I think we've got the potential to outscore them.
I don't think the West of Scotland could cope with a 6-4 game because of the strain on the NHS. They're under the cosh as it is right now. Think of the amount of people who'd be going through A&E. No, not a chance, mate. So
I thought you were referring to them having COVID, yeah.
well, just another thing to add to that. Right, to the viewers, thank you again for watching. I hope it was something that you survived, a few hearts and mouth moments, but we made it in the end. And as we said, onwards and upwards, we're through to the Europa League group stage. We'll find out who we've got in the draw tomorrow. And again, Rangers on Sunday. Looking forward to that. So, if you can, please hit the like button. Please hit subscribe. And if you can, share this with your family, friends, and fellow Celtic supporters. Again, still catching my breath after that one. I don't know if I'm going to sleep tonight. Paddy, final thoughts?
That's all I can say, mate. Thank God we get that.
We needed it. And McGinty, over to you.
Similar. Thank God we got through. Lessons to be learned. A big learning game, but yeah, happy to be through. Really happy to be through.
Aye. Well, that's us. A great notch under the belt for Postecoglou, and for us as well, a new thing as well. This was our first live recording, so another new experience for us. But again, to the viewers, thank you very much for that, and good night.